Hey, what's going on? Ryan Nolting here. Uh, Concert memories. 10 years ago, 2012, my top 10 concerts from 2012. Great year. Good touring year that year for sure. This is in no particular order. We're just having fun going back on some anniversaries of some shows. JD Souther. JD Souther is a songwriter who was in the Echo Park, Los Angeles area back in the 60s with Glenn Frey. Um, he writes many of the songs from the Eagles, like New Kid in Town and Best of My Love, and seeing him with an acoustic guitar playing those songs, it was fantastic until he gets mad at one of the sound guys and abruptly leaves the show and basically pulls out of the concert with everybody sitting there stunned. I'll give you a pass on that, JD. Maybe you come back to St. Louis again, although I don't think you've ever come back. Ryan Adams solo. Just Ryan Adams with an acoustic guitar at the Peabody Opera House in St. Louis. A guy unheard of to me, Jason Isbell, opens up with an acoustic guitar also. Jason Isbell blew me away that night. In fact, I left that show an Isbell fan more than Ryan Adams. We had front row tickets. We're seeing these guys. They end up collaborating together that night. Ryan Adams called somebody out for getting up and going to the bathroom. You know, the guy wasn't giving him enough attention, had to go to the bathroom or maybe get a beer. He stops the show and yells at a guy. It's unacceptable. No matter how big of a rock star you are, you can't do that. I left it an Isbell fan, and I haven't really listened to Adams that much since, but he is great. His songwriting is fantastic. Van Halen with David Lee Roth. Van Halen with David Lee Roth and Kool and the Gang opens up. So this is on the Different Kind of Truth tour. Anytime you get to see Van Halen is special. Wolfgang Van Halen on bass. Seeing a band like Kool and the Gang open up is pretty random, but pretty awesome. So we had a great time. My buddy and I, Mike Jones, drummer for my band at the time, we went and we partied it up a little bit there. Iron Maiden at Deer Creek Amphitheater in Noblesville, Indiana. We camped out at a place called Little Bear Campsite or something. Had tents, had steaks that we got, beer, and everything else that you might need for a camp out. Seeing Iron Maiden for the first time. As we're getting in line for the show, the clouds just crush down, and we are so soaked with rain that they have to like postpone part of the show early and push it back because it's raining so hard. The water is literally up to your calves in this area at the entrance of this amphitheater. Meanwhile, we get out there. Alice Cooper's unbelievable. Iron Maiden is unbelievable. This is one of their tours where they go back and do just all their greatest hits. So, you're getting everything you want to hear. Aces High, Power Slave, Moonchild. We get back to the campsite. One of the tents that my buddies are in is gone. And I'm like, my tent's still there. Well, at 1 o'clock in the morning when I went in to get a pack of cigarettes, I realized my tent was there because there was that much rain in the tent and the pack of cigarettes was floating on the water. So my tent stayed, but I had to get that water out of there before I went to bed at about 5. Ted Nugent, REO Speedwagon, and Styx. So I had seen Styx, I had seen REO, I'd never seen Nugent, and St. Holmes. Is David St. Holmes? Anyway, the original singer from the classic lineup in the 70s is playing with them. Mick Brown from Dokken on drums. And I went just to see Ted Nugent. He opened up at about 6, just to see that guitar playing, Stranglehold. He was unbelievable. He was calling out REO and Styx, saying, those guys from REO are good, but can they do this? And he goes into Stranglehold. Those guys from Styx, they're great guys, but can they do this? You know, he does Cat Scratch Fever. Just complete dominance on his hollow-bodied Gibson guitar. Birdland, I left and didn't need to see Styx or REO and bailed. Got the chance to meet Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson backstage at Rush, also on September 22nd of 2012. Meeting my heroes from a band, getting a picture taken with those guys. Pretty awesome. And just a great show. Just a great show. 2012 on their Clockwork Angels, their last album. Listen to the song Headlong Flight, off the Clockwork Angels album. So cool. Madonna, for the first and only time, Paul Oakenfold, the DJ, opened up. I went with my daughter. I knew like 3 songs, but it was such an artsy show. The music and the production and the choreograph was so good. It didn't matter that I didn't know the material. She is a legend. She was kind of cold to the crowd and kind of a little bit rude, but it was still edgy. And she's an icon. And it's almost good that I didn't know. She played Like a Prayer, I think, and a couple other songs that I knew, but the rest of it was from the new album. The rest of it was deep tracks, which is what an artist can do. An artist can captivate you even though you don't know every song. The Who, November 24th at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. My daughter Zoe and I went. This was Thanksgiving weekend. We were up there with visiting family and seeing The Who perform the entire Quadrophenia album. Just incredible. I mean, you know, both of us knew that record all the way through. It's a double record, Quadrophenia from 73. And they still had it, you know. Just a remarkable night. What else do we have here? We have ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner. My son Ryan was born a few months earlier, and we took him deep in the lawn back to see ZZ Top because my father-in-law's favorite band is ZZ Top, and we see them every time. First concert for my son, and memorable night, and finally saw Leonard Skinner. I have a little bit of a problem with one original member being in a band, so I never went out and saw those guys. I mean, earlier in my life, there was more guys alive. It would have been cool to see Leonard Skinner, but finally saw that with Gary Rossington and gang. Fun night. Lastly, went to the Beacon Theater in New York to see a tribute. It was a benefit for the American Indians. Saw Pete Seeger, the famous folk singer. Saw Mos Def, saw Common. Jackson Browne was on the bill. Bruce Cockburn was on the bill. Reuben Carter, Hurricane Carter from the Dylan song in the movie was there. Just seeing a theater like that, being in New York in December, just another memory from a great concert year. We are going to do more shows like this. Subscribe to my channel, and peace out. Merry Christmas.